What's up, guys? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers. This is my breakdown and prediction of UFC Fight Night 171, Glover Teixeira versus Anthony Smith. What's up, guys? Welcome back. We have another card on Wednesday, May 13th in Jacksonville. Really looking forward to it. The card's not the best compared to what we just seen, but it is a very good card nonetheless. Last week I went 7-4 in my picks. Thought I could have easily went 9-2 if the Cerrone and Werdum decision could have went my way, but it didn't, which is okay. Just ready to go in this card. Was up late last night researching guys like Chase Sherman, Ike Villanueva, so it's going to be really a lot of fun. Before we start the video, if you guys can leave a like, also subscribe if you haven't yet. Really appreciate that. Trying to get to 2,000 subscribers. And shout out to Jeff for my new intro. A lot better than the one I had. So let's get right into it. We'll start with Chase Sherman versus Ike Villanueva. Can't really get into the numbers on a lot of these fights, so I'm going to go through the numbers on the ones I can. But let's look at the odds here to start it off. You got Chase Sherman minus 155 and Ike Villanueva minus 135. So Chase Sherman, he's 30 years old. He's 6'4", 78-inch reach. He's 14-6, and he is 3-2 in his last five fights. Ike Villanueva, he is 36 years old. He's 6'2", 72.5-inch reach, 16-9, and he's 4-1 in his last five. So this fight is very, very tough to call. Before looking at film, I was like, yeah, I like Chase Sherman. He has that UFC experience. He's going to be the bigger guy. Ike Villanueva is going to be, coming up from light heavyweight to heavyweight, and he's fought at heavyweight before, but still, he's going to be the smaller guy in here. Chase Sherman has that UFC experience. He's been there before. Didn't have the best UFC experience, but he has been there. So this is gonna be Ike's first time in the UFC. So I think I'm gonna lean with the UFC. The guy who's been in the UFC here, the guy who's bigger with Chase Sherman. But I was watching film on Ike Villanueva. He looked very good. He looked fast. Doesn't have the best gas tank, but he looked pretty good. He's only been knocked out like once in his MMA career, once or twice, and Chase Sherman's been knocked out like 5 or 6 times. So I think if Villanueva comes out here and finishes the fight early, that's what he needs to do. I can see an early finish, but if he doesn't get that first round finish, I just see Sherman taking over and winning the fight. So I'm gonna go with Sherman, second round knockout. I just think that UFC experience is going to be huge, and I think the size difference is going to be very huge. And although Sherman's been knocked out quite a bit, I just see him taking this here and eating the shots of Villanova early and weathering that early storm, and I see Chase Sherman winning this in the second round. But very, very low level fight here for a heavyweight. All right, next we got Hunter Azure versus Brian Kelleher. You got Hunter Azure. He is 28 years old. He's 5'8" with a 70.5-inch reach, which is going to have about a 6-inch reach advantage. He is 8-0, and he's 5-0 in his last 5 fights. Brian Kelleher, he's 33 years old. He's 5'6", 64-inch reach, and he's 20-10 with a 3-2 record in his last 5. Just checking the odds here, you got Hunter Azure minus 175 favorite, and Brian Kelleher plus 155 underdog. So first of all, I picked Kelleher to win against Ode Osborne last fight. Did not think it'd be that easy. First got him down and just submitted him really, really fast. Wasn't expecting that. But Kelleher is very tough. Boom Kelleher, he's a tough guy. I just see this fight playing out mostly on the feet. Kelleher doesn't have the best wrestling to get Azure down. Azure has a really good wrestling background. Azure, the bigger guy, the stronger guy. I just don't see how Kelleher is going to get him down. I'd be very surprised if he does. Azure's going to want to keep this on the feet. The only way I can see Kelleher winning is if Azure shoots for a takedown and gets Kelleher locks up a submission on the entry. But Azure's going to want to keep this on the feet. He's the better striker. He's powerful, but don't think he's going to get a knockout against Kelleher here. Kelleher is very tough. I just see Azure winning a pretty, I want to say boring decision, but pretty dominant decision. Probably 30-27, unless Kelleher gets like I'm going to call it a fluke submission. But if Kelleher can get this to the ground, he's very, very live, but I just don't see it happening. So I'm going to go with Kelleher. I'm going to go with Azure to win by decision, like 30-27, possibly 29-28. But I like Azure quite a bit to win this matchup. All right, next we got a pretty fun fight. Should be a fun fight. We have Gabriel Benitez, always brings a fun fight, and then Omar Morales. Omar Morales, he is 34 years old. He's the older fighter here. He's 5'10", with a 74-inch reach. He is 9-0, and he's 5-0 in his last 5 fights. Gabriel Benitez, he is 31 years old. He is 5'8" with a 71-inch reach. He is 21-7, and he is 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Just looking at the odds here, I did think this to be a little bit closer, but you got Omar Morales minus 175 and Gabriel Benitez plus 155. All right, so I think I got Omar Morales here. Gabriel Benitez is coming up in weight, which that's what really did it for me. He's going to be the smaller guy. I was thinking Benitez has a lot of power, but I don't know if that power is going to translate up a weight class. I think Omar Morales is going to be the much bigger guy. I think he can take down Benitez if he wants to. Omar Morales doesn't have to worry about Benitez taking him down. Benitez has like 1 takedown in all of his UFC career. Benitez has been taken down plenty of times before. But I like Omar Morales here to win a comfortable decision and possibly get a knockout. We've seen Benitez knocked out in like 2 of his last 5 fights, something like that. But he has been knocked out by Yusuf, and we saw his last fight. But I like Omar Morales here. If this fight was at Benitez's normal weight class, I would be a little scared because he has that power, and Morales is very, very green. Benitez is the UFC veteran here, so. But since he is coming up in weight, I just, Morales is going to be so much bigger. I think he can get takedowns. I think he can possibly get a finish here or win a very, very comfortable decision. So it could get a little scrappy at parts. Benitez has a lot of heart. He comes to fight, but I'm going to go with Omar Morales to probably win. I'm going to go 29-28 or even a 30-27 decision. All right, next we got the People's Fight of the Night. Completely joking here, but Sierra Eubanks versus Sarah Moras. Sierra Eubanks is a minus 380 favorite, and Sarah Moras Cheesecake is plus 315. Sierra Eubanks, she is 35 years old. She's 5'3", 67-inch reach. She is 4-4 in her career and 3-2 in her last 5 fights. Sarah Moras, she is 32 years old. She's 5'7", 67-inch reach. She is 6'5". She is not 6'5". Anyway, she is 6-5, my bad, and she is 2-3 in her last 5 fights. All right, so I just think Eubanks is the better fighter everywhere here. I think she has the wrestling advantage, the striking advantage, but I think she has every advantage besides Moras has probably the heart advantage and the conditioning advantage. We saw Eubanks gas out her last fight. I just don't think she's going to have many problems here with Moras. I think she's going to dominate this whole fight from start to finish with a possible finish. I just don't see how Moras wins unless there's like a submission off her back, something like that. Moras isn't going to take Eubanks down. Moras has a very, very bad takedown defense, so I think Eubanks can take her down at will. We've seen Eubanks take down girls like Roxanne Modafferi, Aspen Ladd. This is by far Eubanks' easiest fight in the UFC, and if she doesn't win this fight, she needs cut. Because this is no way she should lose this fight here. So I'm going to go Eubanks. I'm going to take her to win a very, very dominant decision, 30-26, 30-25. But a pretty simple fight for me to call here, unless like something like unbelievably crazy happens. All right. So finally we have some numbers here we can go through. Michael Johnson versus Thiago Moises. Michael Johnson, he is 33 years old, 5'10", with a 73.5-inch reach. He is 19-5, and he is 2-3 in his last 5 fights. Thiago Moises, he is 25 years old, 5'9", 70.5-inch reach. He is 12-4, and he's 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Looking at the odds here, it's a pick'em, minus 110 each way. Start with Michael Johnson. Michael Johnson averages 4.15 significant strikes per minute compared to Moises' 2.47. Johnson with a 37% accuracy. He absorbs 3.82 significant strikes per minute with a 58% striking defense. Johnson averages 0.56 takedowns per 15 minutes with a 45% takedown accuracy, and he has a 78% takedown defense, which is pretty good. And he averages 0.31 submissions per 15 minutes. Johnson has 34 fights. He's won by knockout 35% of the time. He's won by submission 13% of the time. He's won by has a 48% finish rate in his career. He's lost by decision twice, lost by knockout twice, and he's lost by submission 5 times, which is very worrisome in this matchup. As for Moises, he lands 2.47 significant strikes per minute, very low volume guy on the feet, accuracy of 62%. He absorbs 3.2 significant strikes per minute with a 53% striking defense. He averages 2 takedowns per 15 minutes with a 50% takedown accuracy and has a 58% takedown defense and averages 2.5 submissions per 15 minutes. He has 16 fights. He's finished 25% by knockout, 42% by submission, and has a 67% finish rate. He's lost by decision 4 times, and he's never been knocked out. He's never been submitted. So this matchup is very interesting. I've went back and forth on this. You know, how can you trust Michael Johnson, especially after his last fight with Stevie Ray? I think Johnson's going to have the better advantage on the feet by far here, though. And Moises, if he can get Johnson down, I think Moises is very well able to win. Maybe lock up a submission, but I think Johnson's going to shine here on the feet. We're going to see, you know, maybe a glimpse of the old Johnson a little bit here on the feet. I think he has such an advantage that he's going to look very good on the feet. But if he gets taken down, it's going to be very, very hard for Johnson to be able to win. But his takedown defense is good. It hasn't been so good lately. Got taken down by Stevie Ray and dominated in that 3rd round, which pretty much surprised everybody. But if he doesn't win this fight, you know, I wouldn't say I'd be surprised, but this is a fight he should win. I mean, he's the better fighter. It's just if Moises gets him down, Moises does have some takedowns, and you know, we've seen Johnson dominated by Ray. I just don't. As long as Johnson keeps us on the feet, for the most part, he should dominate and even possibly get a knockout here. The advantage on the feet, he's going to have that speed advantage. He has some power as well at this weight class. But Moises, you know, just worries me quite a bit. So this fight's a pick him for a reason. Went back and forth on this. First, I thought Moises would be able to go in here, take him down, wear him out. But, you know, I'm going to go with Johnson here. And probably the last time I'll be picking Johnson if he loses here. So give me Michael Johnson. I'm going to pick him to win. Give me a knockout. I think he's going to get a knockout here against Thiago Moises. Just expose him on the feet. It's one of my lesser confident picks of the week. Michael Johnson there, by the way. All right, Andre Arlovski versus Philippe Linds. Was up late last night watching some tape on Philippe Linds. Actually very surprised with what I seen. I seen a heavyweight with some really good cardio and really good striking. But Philippe Linds, he is 34 years old. He's 6'2" with a 71-inch reach. He's 14-3, and he's 4-1 his last 5 fights. Andre Arlovski, he is 41 years old. He's 6'3" with a 77-inch reach. He is 28-19 in his last 5. He's 1-4 in his last 5 fights. I like Linds here. I think he looked very good on film. Very good cardio. I saw him get a finish in the 5th round. Striking was nice and crisp. Does get hit a little bit, but we've seen him knocked out before. But I don't think Arlovski's had a knockout win since like 2015, 2016. I just think Arlovski's on his way out. He's 41 years old. I like Linds quite a bit. I'm picking him to win, and I'm picking him to win by knockout here. Arlovski's been knocked out many, many times. Definitely over 10. I don't know the exact amount, but he's been knocked out a lot of times. He was only knocked out like once since in his last like 6-7 fights, something like that, by Rosenstruck. He did turn his chin around in a way, but Rosenstruck knocked him out. I think Linds is probably going to knock him out here in the 1st round. Linds gets busy. He has a lot of volume. I think there's going to be a lot of volume here. But Arlovski has improved his boxing lately. We've seen against the Ben Rothwell fight, he looked very good there. So I think it could be a little close-ish, but I think Linds has that cardio to go all 3 rounds. I think he can either win a decision or knock him out here. But I'm going to go with Philippe Linds with a knockout. Give me a knockout in the 1st round here. I just think he's going to get Arlovski out of there. I think Arlovski's done at 41 years old. I just think he's on his way out, and this could possibly be his last fight. All right, Carl Roberson versus Marvin Vittori. Another fight that's probably one of the closest fights on the card. And Vittori is a -165 favorite, and Roberson's a +150 underdog, which I do not agree with at all. I thought this fight should be closer to a pick'em. Just looking at the numbers here, Vittori is 26 years old. He's 6-0 with a 74-inch reach. He is 14-3, and he has 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Carl Roberson, he's 29 years old, 6'1", with a 74-inch reach. He's 9-2 and 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Roberson, he averages 3.08 significant strikes per minute with a 52% accuracy. Averages 1.81 significant strikes absorbed per 15 minutes with a 64% striking defense. He averages 1 takedown per 15 minutes with a 57% accuracy and has a 53% takedown defense, which is very, very worrisome in this fight. He averages 0.81 submissions per 15 minutes. He has 11 fights, has won by knockout 25% of the time. He's won by submission 38% of the time with a 63% finish rate. He's lost by decision 0 times. He's lost by submission twice and has never been knocked out. Vittori, he averages 3.75 significant strikes per minute, 42% accuracy. He absorbs 2.89 significant strikes per minute with a 63% striking defense. He averages 1.7 takedowns per 15 minutes with a 45% takedown accuracy, and he has a 79% takedown defense. And Vittori also averages 0.75 submissions per 15 minutes. So Vittori has 17 fights. He's won by knockout only 15% of the time. He's won by submission 62% of the time and has a 77% finish rate. He's lost by decision 3 times. He's never lost by submission or knockout. This fight is really tough to call, but I do think the line's way off. I think this should be a pick'em. I think Roberson's the better striker. I think he has more power than Vittori. But the thing is, we know what Roberson's weakness is. It's in the wrestling, grappling, and Vittori is a pretty strong guy. I think he's going to get Roberson down on the ground. But Roberson has been improving his wrestling BJJ quite a bit. We saw him get a submission his last time out. So this fight's tough to call. I think Roberson can give Vittori a lot of problems on the feet, but it's when it gets on the ground that that's when you gotta favor Vittori a little bit. So I'm gonna go with Vittori by a decision, probably really close, 29-28. I think Roberson's going to get the better on the feet. And then if Vittori can get him down, I think he should win this fight. I don't know if he's going to do much on the ground, but I do think he can get him down on the ground a couple times. And I think it's going to be a very close split decision. But I do think that line's way off. All right, we have a really fun fight here with Ray Borg versus Ricky Simone. I'll start with Ray Borg. He is 26 years old. He is 5'4" with a 63-inch reach, which is going to be a 7-inch reach disadvantage. He is 13-4. He's 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Ricky Simone, he's 27 years old. He is 5'6" with a 70-inch reach. He is 15-3, and he is 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Just looking at the odds here. Simone is a -170 favorite, and Borg is a +150 underdog. So we'll start with Ray Borg here. Ray Borg averages 1.36 significant strikes per minute with a 52% accuracy. He absorbs only 1.68 strikes per minute with a 46% accuracy. Defense. He averages 4.26 takedowns per 50 minutes, which is pretty good with a 50% takedown accuracy and a 50% takedown defense as well. And he averages 1.14 submissions per 15 minutes. Borg has 17 fights. He's won by knockout 33% of the time. He's won by submission 13% of the time. Not much of a finisher with a 53% finish rate. He's lost by decision once. He's lost by decision 3 times, lost by knockout 0 times, and he's lost by submission once. As for Ricky Simone, he averages 2.51 significant strikes per minute, 38% accuracy. He gets hit 4.13 significant strikes absorbed per minute with a 69% striking defense. Averages 4.33 takedowns per 15 minutes with a 40% takedown accuracy. Has a 73% takedown defense, which is pretty good, and averages 0.33 submissions per 15 minutes. He has 18 fights. He's won by knockout 33% of the time. He's won by submission 13% of the time, and he has a 53% finish rate. So both these guys aren't really finishers. I think this fight is going to go to decision. I don't think anybody's going to submit the other guy. We know where Simone has the advantages on the striking. He's going to be the bigger guy. He has that like 6-7 inch reach. I think he can take down Ray Borg. Ray Borg has like a 50% takedown defense. I think Ray Borg will be fine to play off his back. I think he'll be fine. He'll be content doing that. Don't know if Borg's gonna be able to take down Simone. Probably Borg has looked really, really good. I think he possibly could. But I think Simone's going to be the first one trying to go for these takedowns. I think it's going to be kind of like the Ronnie Yaya fight. Simone is able to take down Ronnie Yaya and not let him get off that submission, something like that. But if it stays on the feet, I got Simone all day. I just think all the advantages are with Simone besides Ray Borg has that BJJ. So I could see Ray Borg, maybe getting a sweep, maybe possibly submitting Simone. But I just like Simone here. He's going to be the bigger guy. Borg's coming up a weight class. I think Simone's going to have the advantages here. So I'm going to go Simone. I'm going to pick him to win by decision. Probably a very close decision. But I like Simone quite a bit here. I see a lot of people picking Borg, but I just think this is a really, really good fight for him. As long as he does not get submitted and fight smart, I think he'll be just fine. All right, now we got a really, really good fight here. I'm really looking forward to this fight. Alexander Hernandez versus Drew Dober. Drew Dober, he is 31 years old. He's 5'8" with a 70-inch reach. He is 22-9, and he is 4-1 in his last 5 fights. Alexander Hernandez, he is 27 years old. He's 5'9", 72-inch reach, 11-2, and 4-1 in his last 5 fights. Just checking the odds here. Dober is a -120 favorite, and Alexander Hernandez is a +100 underdog. So I do like Alexander Hernandez to win here. I think he's going to be able to take down Dober. I think there is some recency bias coming into the line because we've seen Dober look absolutely amazing, getting a knockout in his last 2 fights. By the way, I did pick Dober to beat Haqparast. I was so surprised when he knocked him out in that first round, though, but he did. So that was awesome. And then Hernandez, he hasn't been looking good. He went to split decision with Tornado. He possibly lost that fight, and then he got dominated by Donald Cerrone. So I think there's some recency bias, but people are, forgetting about Dober's glaring weakness in his wrestling and grappling. And Hernandez is a very, very good, strong wrestler. And people are also underrating Hernandez's striking as well in this fight. Hernandez has a lot of power as well, just as Dober does. But I think Hernandez is going to come out here with a smart game plan and take down Dober. I think he can take him down pretty easily here. If he stands with Dober, he possibly could get knocked out. But if he gets out of this first round where Dober's most dangerous, I think Dober has no knockouts outside the first round. So take Dober down here, control him on the ground, maybe do some work on the ground. Dober tends to give his back up when he tries to get up as well, so maybe he gets in a submission as well. But I just like this fight a lot for Alexander Hernandez. I just think there's recency bias built into this line. I just see Hernandez taking him down whenever he wants, maybe letting him back up, taking him down again, wearing Dober out. Like I said, once Dober gets out of that first round, he's not as dangerous. So I think Hernandez can definitely start doing work even on the feet towards the later rounds. But I like Hernandez here. Might even put a bet on him, especially if he's still at dog odds when I place my bets. But yeah, +100. I think he should possibly be the favorite here, but just slightly. Although I do like Drew Dober quite a bit. He made me a decent amount of money in his last fight, but I just can't pick him here against someone who's going to wrestle with Alexander Hernandez. I just think if he wrestles, there's no way he should lose. Hernandez is still hungry. He has something to prove. So give me Hernandez. I'm going to pick him to win by a decision here. All right, we got a fun fight here. We have Ben Rothwell versus Eubanks St Preux. Yeah, this fight's very interesting. We know Eubanks St Preux is coming up to heavyweight, and Ben Rothwell has not been looking good ever since he came back from like a 2-3 year layoff. He's been looking very, very bad. So this fight's so hard to call for me. I've been going back and forth on it. I keep trying to play this out of my head, and I see Eubanks, being the faster guy, but I just see Rothwell knocking him out at some point. Let's check the odds here. I think Rothwell is a +120 underdog at the moment, and Eubanks St Preux is a -140 favorite. Honestly, I think that line should be flipped. Eubanks is going to be the much shorter guy here. The much smaller guy here. He is tall. Eubanks St Preux is 6'3", Rothwell is 6'4". Eubanks is going to have the... is he going to have the reach advantage? Yeah, he's going to have an 1.5 inch reach advantage, but still. It's going to be so hard for Eubanks with his frame to come up to heavyweight. He's not going to take down Rothwell. I think Rothwell's going to be too hard to take down. Even if he does, I think Rothwell has underrated BJJ. I just can't picture him taking down Rothwell. Maybe he does, but I just see this playing out mostly on the feet. Is he going to knock out Rothwell? Probably not. Rothwell has a very, very good chin. He's an iron chin. I just pictured Rothwell coming out here and knocking him out. If Rothwell comes out here and fights like he fought against Struve and just tries to take out Eubanks St Preux, I think he will take him out. But if Rothwell comes out here and fights like he fought against Ivanov or Arlovski, he's going to lose a decision to Eubanks St Preux. So I can see this going one of two ways. I can see Eubanks, being the faster guy in and out, just landing the more shots on Ben Rothwell. Or I can see Rothwell knocking out Eubanks St Preux. And I think the more likely scenario is probably Rothwell knocking him out. So I am thinking about placing a bet on Ben Rothwell. especially at those odds. But this fight is really tough to call, but I do think Rothwell should be the favorite, and for that reason, I'm going to pick him to win. I'm going to pick him to win by knockout. I just don't see a path to victory for events besides a decision, and I don't think this is probably going to go to a decision. So, give me Rothwell to win, and I'm going to pick him to win by knockout. All right, so Anthony Smith versus Glover Teixeira. I already broke this fight down on my video I posted. I think I posted a couple days ago. But yeah, I like Anthony Smith here. Not going to get too much into the stats. Anthony Smith is like a minus 170 favorite, something like that. He's like minus 150 when I recorded my video Monday. My God. My bad. My camera keeps falling. But yeah, he was like minus 150 whenever I recorded this video Monday. And he's like minus 170 now. I think I could even get closer to minus 200. I just think Smith is going to win here. You know, Smith's been knocked out plenty of times, but ever since he moved up to 205, he's not been knocked out. Teixeira also does not have a knockout since like 2015, 2016. So I like Smith to win here. I think he can get taken down by Teixeira, which would probably not be ideal. But if he does get taken down, I think Smith has very, very underrated BJJ. You know, fight off the submissions, just wear out Teixeira, and then just take over in those later rounds. I think Teixeira could submit him, but you know, Smith's BJJ has improved so much from, you know, the beginning of his career to now. He's been submitting guys this past couple fights. I think he's going, you know, he's going to have the better cardio here, and that's where I think wins him the fight is his cardio. He's going to wear out Teixeira and probably get him out of there in that 3rd or 4th round. But yeah, I like Anthony Smith. I like him quite a bit to win here. Probably going to parlay him. I'm going to put out a betting video pretty soon once I finish up my model with all the Vegas odds, because Vegas is a little bit slow at getting the odds out there. But yeah, once I get those Vegas odds, I will put my betting video out, and I'll get into the numbers a little bit. But I do like Anthony Smith to win here. Would I be surprised if Glover Teixeira wins? You know, no, not really. But I think it'd be probably by submission. And I just think Smith's BJJ is very underrated. And I think he can fight off those submissions. You know, I think he can be fine off his back, and I think he can get right back up and just tire out Teixeira throughout the fight, and just win, probably knockout or TKO. You know, towards the end of the round when Teixeira is very, very tired, just beat him there at the end of the fight, probably 3rd or 4th round. So for that, I'm going to pick Anthony Smith to win by knockout, and give me the 4th round, Anthony Smith by knockout. So that's about it, guys. Sorry my camera kept falling. I don't know what's going on with that. If you have any questions, you can follow me on Twitter, DFS_numbers. Also comment what you guys agree with, what you guys don't agree with. Make sure you like this video. I got over 100 likes on my last one. It'd be nice to get 100 likes again. Make sure you guys check out my DraftKings video, my FanDuel video, and also my betting video as well is going to be out soon. Make sure you subscribe so you do not miss out on all my content. We have another card Saturday, so I have to put in some hours of research in tonight and hopefully get out those videos hopefully by Thursday. The latest would be Friday, but definitely by Thursday. So make sure you guys check all that out. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Trying to get 2,000 subscribers soon. Getting up there, so thank you guys for that. And yeah, that's about it. And if you have any bets this weekend, if this week or weekend, good luck. And yeah.